listening to, I say you are listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espinlove Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Thank you. I thank you. Charlie thanks you. Miss Ernestine thanks you. Harvey thanks you. Everyone here on the Funny Farm thanks you. Of course, you're all clients yourself, aren't you? Anyhow, you're listening to the George Espinlove Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. And we don't have no specific mailing address. We don't even have a mailbox. We just live here, and that's fine with us. Hey, you know something? Today it was about 74, 75 degrees. Tomorrow it's supposed to be about 79. On Wednesday they tell me it's going back up into the 80s. I'm telling you, it can stay like this until it gets nice, and it won't upset me one bit. I welcome you to the show tonight. It's Monday. Was it rough today, getting up, going back to work, and, doing the things that we didn't do over the weekend? I hope you had a good weekend, but we're up and running. Here it is, Monday already, and we have a ton of guests this week. I'm telling you, they are the cream of the crop, and tonight we're going to start off right at the top, and we'll get into that just a little bit. Tomorrow night, remember this. How many of you use Wi-Fi? Raise your hand. I see you, Charlie. Charlie's over there working the boards, and he's over there waving at me, jumping up and down. Tomorrow night, Dr. Alex Hills is going to be with us. Excuse me. He'll be calling all the way from Alaska, and he's going to be with us. He is the man, one of the men, that invented Wi-Fi. I think it'll be pretty neat when we talk to the man that invented Wi-Fi while we're using Wi-Fi. He's going to tell us all kinds of things. He's going to tell how they did it and how it works and why it doesn't work sometimes and all the projects that's going on worldwide. You don't want to miss it. The man himself, Dr. Alex Hills, will be with us tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on the George Espinlove Show. So get on your Wi-Fi and listen to the man who created Wi-Fi. It doesn't get any better than that. We are having a tremendous time. Our audience is growing. It's becoming larger each and every week. We're seeing the numbers expand, multiply, and it's all because of you. You telling someone that's telling someone that's telling someone else. And people from all around the world are listening to the show. I want to thank my friend Harry. Harry, if you're listening tonight, I want to thank you for that fine compliment that you gave us today on Facebook. That was a real, well, that almost made us cry around here when we read that. But thank you for your fine compliment, not Charlie, Harry, I'm sorry. Thank you for that fine compliment, and thank all of you for the kind words and the compliments that you're sending us and the messages and the tweets and all those things. We got more sounds going off around here. We got tweets and ding-a-lings and alarms and I don't know, all kind of things. It just, this modern technology just blows me away. All right, it's Monday. It's Monday evening. If you're here on the East Coast, excuse me, it's about 6:35. So maybe some of you are just now sitting down to eat your dinner. Maybe some of you have already eaten your dinner. Maybe some of you are out somewhere getting ready to eat dinner. You know, the miraculous thing about this whole internet radio gig is that you can listen to it anywhere. If you have an iPhone, download the Spreaker app. If you have a Droid system, download the Spreaker app, and you can listen to it while you're on the go. And if you really want to get fancy, you can plug one of them doodads into the bottom of your phone and then plug it into the power source of your automobile or your truck, and you can listen to it right through the speakers of your radio. And they tell me that some of the radios are equipped now, so you can hear it on your radio just by turning the dials and the knobs and whatever you have to do. I haven't seen anything like that work yet, but I'm anxious to see it. There's more kind of ways to watch us than you can shake a stick at. But anyhow, it's Monday evening. So we're up and at 'em. We're ready to tear into this week and head for the weekend. I'm always looking for the weekend. I think that we should have 2 days of work and 5 days of weekend. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? So let's everybody. I know you just sit down, but stand up. We're going to tap our feet, snap our fingers, bob our head, and naturally, we're going to shake our booty. Wake up, Molly. Oh, yeah, everybody is wide awake now. You know what? I think we ought to... Ooh. That is so cool.
I don't know, but I've been told down by the banks there is buried gold. Many people go down to try their luck, but not as many ever come back up. If you tell anybody, they say I don't care what happens in that swamp's gotta stay down there. Black Swamp Creek, dirty water and a double dog dare in the dead of night. What happens in the swamp's gotta stay there. Black Swamp Creek. Rising up into the town. No use paying for what we've done. Better grab what you can and run, run, run. Black Swamp Creek, swamp's gotta stay there. What happens in the swamp's gotta stay there. Black Swamp Creek. I don't know, but I've been told down by the banks there was buried gold.
I just love them blues rock. I love it to death. Before I go any further, I better remind myself to tell you most of the music that we played tonight, and most of the music we play every night, comes from our friends down there at Mevio's Music Alley. So here's what to do. You check it out. Go to music.mevio. That's MEVIO.com. Music.mevio.com. All right, I got that out of the way. We have a guest tonight by the name of Dr. Kathy Gruver, all the way out there in California. Now, if you're close to California, that's not all the way out there, but we over here on the Eastern Shore, sitting right on the waters of the Atlantic Ocean, California is a long way out there. So, we want to welcome Dr. Kathy Gruver. Dr. Gruver, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you. You do so much. I would like for you to tell us some of your background.
Sure. I started out in massage about 22 years ago, and I was actually, of all things, a theater major back east in Pittsburgh, and had very accidentally apprenticed with a woman that taught me about massage and body work, herbs, homeopathics, all that stuff. And I realized that not only did I find it really interesting, I was actually really good at it. And so I carried her inspiration with me over to California, where I was pursuing the acting career and studied massage more. And I began to realize that just wasn't enough for me. So I pursued further education, and I got my master's and PhD in natural health. And I also have a doctorate as a traditional naturopath, so I have dual doctorates. And I just finished writing my second book, and I have my own TV series, and I do radio around the country, and I've lectured around the country, and so excited that all of this has come together. And it's funny because people have asked me, oh, you were an actor, why don't you do that anymore? And I said, well, I kind of do. Every time I'm in front of an audience, every time I'm on the radio, it's the perfect combination of the healing and the acting. So all of that came together over the course of 20 years and led me to right here with literally I'm turning in my second book to the publisher this week, and just got done doing a great lecture down at a foundation in L.A. And so, yeah, everything's come together, and my objective is just to educate people, give them control back, that they can take charge of their health and their lives and be healthier and live better.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I actually have a lot of spare time. I'm very productive. I dance. I dance 5 days a week, and I yell at the TV watching football.
So you're a football fan?
I'm a huge football fan.
Great. This is off the wall, but do you happen to play fantasy football?
I don't. That I don't have time for.
Oh, okay.
That I would be way too. No.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So that just throws me for a loop. I've seen a whole bunch of titles behind your name. PhD. Yep. Could you tell us what each one of those stands for?
Sure. Yeah, the PhD is, that's just a basic doctorate. It's, a doctorate of philosophy is what a PhD is. The ND, which I don't use typically because in California there's all these complicated laws and I actually can't, but ND would mean doctorate as naturopath. LMT, which I keep behind my name, is licensed massage therapist or licensed massage technician, depending on what part of the country you're in. And then the one that confuses everybody is RM, Reiki Master. And I've had people say, oh, you're a nurse. And I say, no, it's RM. Or they say, hey, you spelled that wrong. It's supposed to be RN. And no, I know it's my card. I know what I put on there. Reiki is a hands-on healing technique. It acts on all aspects of being, body, mind, and spirit. So it is great for people who are having emotional and spiritual issues or imbalance in that part of their lives. It helps heal wounds quicker. It speeds bones healing. It decreases pain response. And they do Reiki a lot in cancer centers because a lot of women and men who are suffering from cancer can't have massage. You don't want to do massage on someone that has certain types of cancer. It can flush it through the body quicker, which, of course, we don't want to do. So a lot of cancer centers and hospitals offer Reiki, and that's one of the things I do. So that's what RM stands for. And I think that's it. Or am I missing initials? Oh, NHC. NHC, this is going to be a long conversation. NHC is Natural Health Consultant, and that was one of the certifications I got before I finished my master's. And that just kind of tells people that I can sit down with you and do health consults. In fact, that's my first client this morning. I'll sit down with her for an hour and a half and go over her health history and look at her nutrition and her lifestyle and see what we can change, add, subtract so that she can be healthier.
What was it, Reiki? Is that how you say it?
Reiki, yeah.
Reiki. What's that consist of?
That consists of, for someone that wants to learn it, you go through, there's sort of book work to do where you learn the history, you learn the hand positions. There's certain symbols that you need to learn to transfer the energy to people. And then you go through what's called an attunement, which is where a Reiki Master, which is what I am, teaches you to put your hands on the person and do it. And that involves this very quick little, what they call an attunement, where symbols are put into your hands, and you're basically given the energy. It sounds so esoteric, but it's actually a very quick, kind of beautiful thing. And then a treatment consists of, I put my hands on someone, the energy activates, and the healing starts. So that can happen in a very clinical, therapeutic setting of someone getting on the table, talking about what they want to work on, and me putting my hands in certain places. Or it could be me sitting there watching TV with my husband, and I put my hand on his leg, and the energy starts, and he gets that energy from that. So it's actually a really beautiful, subtle thing. It goes all the way back to, the ancient art of hands-on healing. And there's numerous versions of that. Reiki is one of the more popular ones. And that's the one that just kind of spoke to me, so that's what I do.
So is that kind of like transferring energy from, say, from you to the person?
Well, it's slightly different than that in that the energy actually doesn't come from me. It comes through me. So what's great about this as opposed to some of the other hands-on healing where you are sharing energy with a practitioner is, let's be honest, there are days you don't want to be sharing my energy. Maybe I had a bad day, maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm cranky, whatever it is. The whole sharing of energy thing, you have to be very careful who you're doing that with. So basically what this is I'm acting as or the Reiki practitioner is acting as a channel for that chi, that universal energy that we all have the ability to tap into. It moves through us, out of our hands, and into the person being healed. And they've been doing so many studies on this recently, and there's an organization called Reiki Research Center, maybe it's Center for Reiki Research, and it is looking at exactly what Reiki does in the body and how it affects these changes and enhances the healing. And then they tell you where in the country the hospitals offer it and the cancer centers offer it. And I've had some very logical, scientific kind of people say, oh, well, that can't possibly be doing anything. And I said, well, one, who are we to say what's actually doing something? I said, you never know what is actually working. I said, but also there are about 90 hospitals around the country that offer this as a service. And I don't know any cancer center that doesn't have Reiki practitioners. These are, oftentimes insurance-run places. They're not going to offer something if there's not evidence that it's working.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that this many hospitals around the country are offering it, it's doing something. If nothing else, you're putting your hands on someone and you're comforting them. But it has been shown to enhance healing. So it's a beautiful modality.
I'm going to have, excuse me, we live here on the Eastern Shore in Delaware, or what's called Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. We're out here on the peninsula. And my wife had a bout with cancer. And I'm going to, of course, we have good news now, so we don't have to go back for like 2 or 3 months. But the next time I go back, I'm going to ask him about this because I was, I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things too. If you go to Center for Reiki Research, it'll tell you what hospitals around offer it.
Uh-huh.
But we have a breast cancer center here in Santa Barbara. They offer it. The cancer center back in Pittsburgh, which my dad is very active with. My mom passed away when I was 18 of cancer, and my dad is a big supporter of the cancer center in Pittsburgh. They offer Reiki practitioners, and every time I travel through, I see Reiki circles and Reiki practitioners and Reiki groups, and it's a really, really popular thing. A lot of nurses do it also, which helps them comfort people and help them healing when they're suffering with things in the hospital. So yeah, it would be a great thing to try.
Mm. I need to ask you this, lest I forget. Yeah. The traditional, I call it the traditional medicine versus your type. Is there a lot of controversy between the two, or does it look like things are starting to come together where you're being accepted more?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's still a huge controversy, and actually it's coming from both sides. There's a big prejudice. I know people who subscribe to the natural health and the alternative medicine, and they wouldn't dream of going to a doctor. And then the flip side of that is I know people who wouldn't dream of taking a vitamin because they think it's so out there. We're starting to see a little bit of crossover. I'd like to see more because, frankly, there are good and bad things to both systems of medicine. And, I shock people when I say I'm not opposed to Western medicine, and we need it sometimes. They think I'm going to be one of these radical people that says, if you can't heal it with an herb, don't take it. There are times that we need surgeries and pharmaceuticals and interventions. I would like to see us get to a place where we have more prevention, because we give lip service to prevention, but let's be honest, we're not really doing much of it.
Exactly.
And I would like to see us, for small, subtle things that are starting to go wrong, I would like to see us look to more subtle medicine, like homeopathics, herbs, natural health, changing our nutrition. The nutrition in this country is appalling, and to me that's one of the biggest issues with our health, is if we would just change some of the things in our diets, I think a lot of the disease we have would disappear. I think if we could deal with some of the stress we're having, the stress response that we have, I think a lot of our illness would disappear. But having said that, we still have illness. I'm glad we have antibiotics. I'm glad we have surgery. I'm glad my dad can take his insulin. I'm glad I have my thyroid that I can take every day, and that I can have my knee surgery. And, so we have to take the best of those systems and combine them. Just the same way if we could take the best of the Democrats and the best of the Republicans, we'd have a fabulous candidate.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that. We're fighting rather than pulling the strong pieces from each one. And I think that's what we really have to get to. And that's why, the terms integrative medicine and complementary alternative medicine, these are the words that we're starting to hear more of now, because we don't want to be exclusionary, is that a word now? We don't want to exclude anybody. We want to bring in the best of both. So I think we're going in that direction. I really hope so.
I often wonder, because the whole time that we're fighting, we're wasting time and we're losing ground.
Right.
Where something could really be accomplished.
Right.
You mentioned the word stress and our diet.
Yep.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. Here's my question: Do we have the proper food? Now I'm a rookie on this kind of stuff, so if I'm trying to say something sound like a babbling idiot, it's because I am. Do we have the proper food to end up having a good, nutritious meal?
No. That's a very good question. We just don't. And there's so many misconceptions about what we should be eating. We were at a dinner party last night, and a woman, after eating, handful after handful of cheese, said, "Yeah, I try really hard to be vegan." And I said, "Really?" I said, "That's a pretty extreme diet." I said, "Why do you do that?" She goes, "Well, I think we should be eating a plant-based diet." And I said, "Well, why do you think that?" And she got very defensive and very. It got to the point where she turned her eyes down and she wouldn't even look at me. And I thought, well, that's a pretty severe reaction for somebody that, quote, thinks they should be eating a plant-based diet. And, I've studied all this. So not to say I know more than her, but she couldn't explain to me why she thought she should be doing it. But she was beating herself up, and she used words like, "I'm a cheater, I'm a loser, I should be doing this and I can't, cheaters never prosper." I mean, she was pulling out every bumper sticker, negative thing you could, beating herself up about the fact that she wasn't sticking to this plant-based diet, that she couldn't explain to me why she should be eating anyway. And I found the whole thing it just became comical to me that she was so defensive but didn't know what she was defending. I'm not a big fan of a plant-based diet. I think we should have the majority plants, but we need protein. I think the majority of us need meats, and good quality meats. We don't want fast food burgers. We don't want drive-thrus. We should be eating organic produce and high-quality fish and animal protein. And if we stick to that, we're going to be better off. And unfortunately, in a fast-paced fast food world, where so much of our food is processed and packaged and futzed with in such a way that our grandparents wouldn't even recognize it. They're not going to even understand half the words on the box, because let's be honest, I don't understand half the words on the box. We got to get away from that, because the standard American diet, which they call SAD, which it completely is making us fat and unhealthy. All the processed foods, things like artificial sweeteners and MSG, and right now there's a bill hopefully waiting to be passed that's going to be on the ballot here in California to label genetically modified foods. I think we need to get away from all this fake stuff, and people call it Frankenfood, and we need to get back to the basics: clean air, clean water, food, move your body, move your bowels, sleep, get rid of the stress, and a lot of problems are going to disappear. And we need to take better steps to do that and educate ourselves, because people don't understand what artificial sweetener does or what is really high fructose corn syrup doing to us. Why shouldn't I be eating these types of processed foods? And it's a challenge to figure all that out. But if we go back to real food, take a good vitamin and mineral supplement, that's going to be half the battle. Cut out the soda. That's going to be the majority of what we need to be healthier than we are right now. And I really believe that. But there's so many misconceptions about how we should be eating, and it's just a matter of education and doing some reading and checking and doing what works for your body. If your body's great on a plant-based diet, go for it. Mine's not. I get sicker than heck if I eat just fruits and vegetables, and my body doesn't like it. I'm a good German girl, man. I need some meat. Mm-hmm. So we have to remember we're biologically individual, and we have to go from there, and that's half the key too.
How you said that we need meat. I'm a meat, potatoes, and pasta kind of guy. I can't live without sauce and pasta anyhow. But anyhow,
well, you could.
well, I guess I could, but it would be terrible. What do we do about our cows on steroids and our chickens on steroids? I mean,
right.
What do we do about that?
Right. Well, and the problem is because it's become mass market. And there was an article I read recently saying if everybody chose to eat organic, non-processed food, there's actually not enough food in this country to do that at this point. If everybody chose to eat properly, we'd run out of food. That's a little scary. And one of the issues is government regulations and what is actually subsidized in this country, which is corn, soy, cotton. They're the highest genetically modified crops. They're the crops that are going into our chicken feed and our cow feed and processed food. High fructose corn syrup, soy solids, cottonseed oil, all these things. They're not subsidizing broccoli and oranges and lettuce. They're subsidizing things that make cheap processed foods. So, you know, we can fight it as much as we want, but unfortunately we're fighting a gigantic entity that's making a lot of money off these products. So that's the first challenge. Same thing with the genetically modified thing. You know, we're fighting a gigantic corporation called Monsanto to get this stuff labeled, and they're putting, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars into making sure this doesn't happen because their bottom line is going to go south if we start to label genetically modified food. We're fighting big business at this point, which is difficult. But also, we need to take a stand and say we want these things. And eating organic is one of the options. If you get organic milk, organic butter, cage-free, free-range chickens, and, you know, the more we purchase those things, with every scan of the barcode, we're casting our vote. And seeing the backlash that we've had recently against genetically modified products and high fructose corn syrup, social media has made such a big difference in how we communicate our wants and desires to each other. And there's not a day that goes by where I'm not seeing multiple friends of mine on Facebook talking about labeling our food and staying away from processed food. And these are the companies that do bad things to cows. And, you know, we can't undo all that information that's out there now. And we're seeing high fructose corn syrup start to go out of products. There was an ad last Thanksgiving for like chicken broth to make your stuffing and stuff like that, and it said on the label, no MSG. And that thrilled me to death because MSG is one of those things that's really bad for us that doesn't have to be labeled. So it's hidden in food, and people have reactions to it and don't even know. So the more savvy we are as consumers, the more the food industry is going to have to follow suit or they're going to be left behind. And so that's exciting to me, that when we make choices, they're going to eventually respond to that. So that's one of the things we have to do, is make our voice heard.
And we've got every means and way, means and ways to do it nowadays, like you said, with social media. Stress. We're moving faster than speeding bullets.
Yep.
And I often say we're moving so fast that we can pass ourselves if we're not careful.
Funny.
and I watch people. Now, I don't move so fast anymore. I just, somewhere...
It's all that sauce.
That's where it is. Somewhere back down the road, when I was in the rat race, I was thinking, wait a minute. You know, we're all going crazy, and we're not going nowhere except to the graveyard. So I refuse to get caught up in whatever that thing is called. But most people, they move so fast they can't get stopped. Even at night when they climb in bed, their mind's still racing. And they're full of stress and strain. I read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, about 50% of Americans are on some kind of depression pill. Because we need a pill to get up, we need a pill to lay down. The stress. How do you stop the stress?
Right. Well, the key to understanding all that is we can't stop the stress.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress isn't the problem. Our reaction to the stress is the problem. Because we all think about stress differently. And as you said, when I said, all the things I'm doing, you said, geez, what do you do in your free time? Yeah, I I'm an East Coaster. I move fast. I talk fast. I walk fast. I eat fast. I get things done quickly. And I thrive on a certain level of deadline. I do thrive on that. I'm very type A. I thrive on that. What's next? Let's get it done. Let's do it. Let's accomplish it. And not to say that I'm going to hit a certain age where I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be that person. But for right now, at my age, in my life, I thrive on that. I enjoy it. I don't find it stressful. Whereas somebody else might go completely crazy and it would drive them nuts to try to do all the things I do and live the lifestyle that I have. So we have to look at, just like we're all biologically individual with what kind of diet we should be eating, we have to look at our hardiness, our stress hardiness, and see what we can and can't handle. Now, the problem comes with stress when we feel like it's more than we can handle, when we feel out of control, where our resources aren't going to be able to tackle what we need to tackle. And the only times I really, quote, feel stressed is when something happens external to me that's out of my control. I feel helpless and hopeless. That's when it hits me and I can't sleep. Have that stressed out feeling, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's when stress is a problem. And we have to look at what our hardiness is. I love jumping out of airplanes. I love scuba diving. My husband and I just went to Hawaii where we swam with sharks. I love all this stuff. And other people it might just absolutely scare the bejesus out of. So what we have to do is we have to look at our environment and see what we can handle with our stress. If it's too much, then we need to help. Then we need to help quell that stress response a little bit. And one of the things we can do is I like to do what's called mini meditations. And I'm not a big meditator. You tell me to sit on a pillow and quiet my mind and, shut out thoughts. I am not good at that. But mini meditations are fabulous. And this is something I learned at Harvard last year. There's only 2 rules. Think about, concentrate on something repetitive, and I like to use the breath for that. And if thoughts come through, dismiss them without judgment. Those are the only 2 rules. And I was sitting there with this big, pen and paper ready to write the other 30 rules. There were only 2. So can I lead everyone through a mini meditation right now?
I suppose so, huh?
Okay, it just takes a minute, and this will help you too. This will help. This will let you get you moving again. Okay. So if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, go ahead and do that. If you're driving and listening to this, please don't close your eyes. But close your eyes and concentrate on your breath. Mm-hmm. So you're going to feel the rise and fall of your chest, or the feeling of the air going in and out of your nostrils. Don't try to go back and forth between the 2. Just pick one, either the rise and fall of your chest or the air going in and out of your nostrils. Mm-hmm. And you're just going to watch your breath. You're not trying to change it. You're not trying to see if it's right or wrong. You're not trying to affect it in any way. You're just watching it. And on your next inhale, you're going to think, I am. And on every subsequent inhale, you're going to think, I am. So you're watching your breath, and every time you take an intake of breath, you're going to think, I am. And on your next exhale, you're going to think, at peace. So on the inhale, I am. On the exhale, at peace. And you're just going to keep doing that through all the cycles of your breath. Now, I would normally run people through that a little bit longer, but I don't want to sit here on the radio doing meditation. But that's the basic idea. And what I found is in my type A, very driven Capricorn only child world where I thrive on that stress, the mini meditations are phenomenal because it invokes what's called the relaxation response, which was coined by Dr. Herbert Benson back in the 70s. He's a cardiologist out of Harvard. And what these do for us is it lowers our blood pressure, it lowers our heart rate and our respiratory rate, it speeds up healing, helps lessen the pain response, and what it does in our brain is it readies our brain for higher functioning. So it's, if we're stressed out and we have that stress response, we can't do things like logical thinking and math. Those things shut down because when you're being chased by a dinosaur, you don't need to be doing complicated mathematical equations. It's a very old response. But doing a mini meditation actually gets our brain ready for higher functioning. And the other neat thing is it slows the genetic effects of aging. So if you meditate more, you're aging less. And for anybody who's listening that actually has a meditation practice, where you sit on the pillow and you put your tongue in a certain position and you look to your third eye, this is very different than that. And it probably seems very wrong to do it this way. But it's a great thing you can do for 2 or 3 minutes if you're feeling stressed out, if you're stuck in traffic, if you're in line at the post office. You don't have to close your eyes. We have to breathe anyway. So why not think, I am at peace? And it has made such a huge difference in my life and how I function when I do see myself faced with stress that I feel like I can't handle. It's great for falling asleep at night. It's great, again, when you're sitting in traffic and you're getting impatient. It's one of those things we all can do. And if you take nothing away from this, those mini meditations is going to be a huge benefit to helping reduce that stress. So that's just one of the stress-reducing tips.
2 to 3 minutes?
Yeah, a couple times a day, 2 or 3 minutes. I do it before I get on the radio. I do it before I sit down to write. I don't normally have trouble sleeping, but if I do wake up in the middle of the night and find myself just unable to get back to sleep, I'll think that. Because the other thing that's great, and one of the things that keeps us up at night is not so much a physical thing that we can't sleep, but like you said, we need a pill to lay down, we need a pill to get up. It's those thoughts. Mm-hmm. Those repetitive thoughts. We go through that to-do list for tomorrow, or that, oh, geez, I probably screwed that up and I didn't do that and I should have. We're dwelling. We have these cyclical thoughts that are running through. This is great because when you're thinking, I am at peace, or I am pure health, I am pure joy, whatever you want to be thinking, we can't think 2 things at once. We can only have one thought at one time. So if we're thinking, I am at peace, we can't be thinking all that other crazy-making, what a friend of mine calls monkey brain. We can't be thinking all that stuff. And it shuts out those other thoughts and allows us to relax, to either have better functioning during the day or fall asleep at night. Affirmations are great, and that's basically what that is as well. So, yeah, that little thing alone will help your stress so much. And they're seeing that between 60 and 90% of our doctor's visits are from stress-related illness. We need to do something about that.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Your book, The Alternative Medicine Cabinet. You wrote that this year? Was it published this year?
No, the Alternative Medicine Cabinet came out in 2010, and that's a collection of natural health tips. So what's neat about that is it starts out with really general stuff. So I have a section on massage, I have a section on homeopathics, it's a whole thing in there about Reiki and what that does. Then it moves into real specific stuff like healthy pregnancy, stress, mind-body medicine, different nutrition tips, women and stress at the office. I love this chapter called Women and Stress, Even Wonder Woman Needs a Day Off, because we're trying to do it all, and we can't always do it all. And cancer, obesity, depression, I cover things like that in the book. And then that was recently turned into a TV series, which should start airing, we're hoping, in January or February of 2013. So very, very exciting.
I was going to ask you when your TV show starts.
Yeah, I just got the first episode. It's all edited. It looks amazing. They did such a great job. And so we're still looking for sponsors and commercial advertiser kind of things, but we expect that to be airing relatively soon. So it would be awesome if it was by the end of the year. These things take a while, so I would say, the beginning of next year is probably a safe bet on that. Mm-hmm. But it turned out really well, and I host the show, and they're just fun, quick segments on different aspects of health. But yeah, I finished my second book actually yesterday, so that's going off to the publisher this week. I'm very excited about that too.
Great. What about acupuncture? Do you do acupuncture?
I don't do acupuncture. I tell people that if it involves needles or cracking bones, I don't do it. I have had acupuncture done to me, of course. It's a great modality. It's not one that I run to immediately. My mind doesn't go there typically for treatment, but especially for things like headaches and allergies, fertility, depression, I've seen acupuncture do some amazing stuff. And it's one of those things where, just like anything, you want to find a practitioner that you really connect with. And if you don't feel it's working or you don't like the person, switch and try a different person. Everybody does things, everybody has their own technique and method. And just because one didn't work or you didn't like it doesn't mean the next one might not be a better fit for you. So I encourage people to, try practitioners until they get someone they really zing with.
Now, when someone comes to you with whatever, what's the procedure?
Yeah, it depends on what they're coming for. The majority of my practice is still massage, which I like doing because not only is it a great modality, and I'm really good at it, but it gets people in my office in a safe way so that we can maybe talk about other things. So oftentimes they'll start out as a massage client, and halfway through we're talking about nutrition and what prescriptions they're on, and have you heard of this such and such supplement? And it leads to other aspects of health.
So it's a great starting point, huh?
It is, because people, it's now such a mainstream modality. People understand, massage, I know what that is. And I specialize in medical massage. So I do deep tissue, trigger point, I get to the root of the problem, and I get rid of it. People don't come to me to get that, sort of fluffy, just feel good spa massage. No one comes to me for that. I don't do that. I don't like doing that. So people come to get work done, or they're stressed out. I see a lot of athletes. I've got a semi-professional volleyball player right now. I've got a lot of marathon runners and cyclists, rock climbers, things like that. So that's who I see. We do a quick, I'll do a quick conversation about why they're there, and I just throw them out on the table and get the work done. With the health consultations, that's a little more complicated. I have a 5-page health intake form that they fill out in advance. They bring it back. We look it over. We go through everything they want to talk about. It can take anywhere from typically an hour 15 to an hour and a half I give for the first session. This is also something I can do over the phone or with Skype. I have a couple of clients I'm working with in different parts of California, one back east in Pittsburgh who I'm working with, and I'll sit down with them on the phone and do the same kind of consult. I'd rather see people in person, but for people who, in Pittsburgh or in different parts of California that I can't get to, I can certainly sit down and do that too, and we go over all the nutrition, what should we add and subtract. I have a threefold theory on health. We want to get rid of the things that we don't need, that are detrimental to us. Maybe it's soda, maybe it's gravy. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe it's high fructose corn syrup. Maybe it's a certain amount of stress. And then we want to add in the things we need that we maybe aren't getting. Maybe it's a vitamin. Maybe it's a certain mineral. Maybe it's a certain food. Maybe it's more water. Then when we've gotten rid of the bad stuff and we put the good stuff back in, if there's still issues, then we want to look at, okay, then maybe it's time for a pharmaceutical. Maybe it's time for a homeopathic. Maybe it's time for acupuncture. But until we get rid of the things that are doing us harm, we're not going to get better. And we can pile pill after pill after pill on top of it, but if it's a wheat sensitivity, or if it's a food allergy, or if it's a certain thing that's in our environment that we're not handling well, what's the point of piling more stuff on top of it? Just get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really try to work with people on. And that's a tough one because we have our our soda addiction and our really love of sweets, and it's hard if it's not doing the body good to get rid of it if you really like it. And that's one of the things people struggle with. I do too. So it's a subtle thing, but we try to make little changes as we can.
Can you write prescriptions?
No.
Okay.
No. I have practitioners in town who I really appreciate what they do. There's an endocrinologist here in Santa Barbara who I've worked with for years, and he is the best. And so what I try to do is if someone needs, and I have a lot of women who end up needing thyroid assistance, mm-hmm. If they need thyroid help, I send them to this gentleman named Dr. Berger. I love my primary care doctor because he is a really good Western medicine doctor. He probably thinks a lot of what I do is not medicine, which is totally fine. I don't need him to appreciate what I do. I need him to be good at what he does, and he is. And that's what's so great about being in this day and age where we have such a choice of practitioners around us. I have 2 amazing chiropractors. I have 2 acupuncturists. I have multiple massage therapists. I have a great endocrinologist. I have a great orthopedic surgeon. I have a great primary care doctor. I don't mind playing the field and going to whoever I need to go to that day at that moment for what I need. Mm-hmm. I just want them to be good at what they do. They don't have to know each other. It would be great if they did, but I want the best in the field now that I can find, and that's who I refer my clients to. I have a big referral base here in Santa Barbara, and I'd like to find more MDs that appreciate what we do, and I can send to them and say, look, this is what I've been doing. They need your help now. I don't have anybody exactly like that, but if you can find people who will work together and do the best they do at their field, then you're set.
Do you, do you ever have any traditional doctors send anyone your way?
Yeah, I do. Typically what it is it's either chiropractors or orthopedic surgeons. I've had a couple, or physical therapists will send people to me, specifically for the massage stuff. I don't know that I've had a doctor send anybody to me for natural health issues. Typically what happens is people have gone to every Western medicine practitioner they can find, and they're so dissatisfied, they're still in pain, they're still not sleeping, they're still depressed, whatever it is, then they come find me. And the disadvantage of that is because natural health and alternative medicine tends to be more subtle and take longer, it's not the magic pill, it's not, oh, you take one shot and you're all fixed. People who have gone through a lot of Western medicine intervention, not to say it's too late to go back to natural, but it's harder because you're further embedded in the disease. I had a thyroid nodule that was growing and growing and growing and growing, and I spent 12 years doing natural things to try to get rid of this goiter because I didn't want to have it. I didn't want to have it taken out. I mean, I did acupuncture, I did herbs, I did Ayurvedic medicine, I did homeopathics, I did hypnosis, I did past life regression. I poked at it and told it to go away. That didn't work. I meditated. I mean, I did magnets. I did everything I could think of to get rid of this stupid nodule. And it was just so physically embedded in my body. I mean, the thing was gigantic. I finally figured out how I was going to go away. This surgeon was going to take it out. And I worked with this endocrinologist for 7 years, and every time I'd see him, he'd go, "Are you ready to have that out?" I'd go, "Nope, I'm trying something else." He'd say, "Okay." And we'd get the scans, and he'd show, "No, Kathy, it's growing. At what point are you going to just get this taken out?" And finally I went, "Yeah, I'm ready." I knew it wasn't cancer. I knew it wasn't going to kill me. But for the longest time, I felt like such a failure that I couldn't make it go away. I couldn't get rid of it. And then I thought, well, no, that's not failure. That's the smartest thing I ever did. I tried what I could do naturally. It clearly wasn't working. Then I took the next smart step. The surgeon took it out. And it wasn't a failure. It was actually a great lesson for me in incorporating whatever medicine you need to do to have the outcome you need. And sometimes it is a surgery or taking a pill. You know, the other thing this means is now I'm on thyroid hormone the rest of my life, which I don't like doing that, but that's the medicine that worked for this issue. And so I, with pride every morning, am happy that I have my thyroid pill so that I'm alive. And I take that and I go, okay, this is what I have to do.
The other thing that I found very interesting is that you serve as an expert witness. Could you tell us something about that?
Yeah, I love this part of what I do. I actually just got retained for a very, very, very large, important case here in California. I have worked as an expert witness. I think this will be my 6th case. Everything from massage negligence, where the therapist has done something not very bright and has injured somebody, or simply misunderstand. We had a misunderstanding on a court case last year with a gentleman having an unfortunate erection, which ended up getting him arrested, which was a little ridiculous. And yeah, so they call me. There's an organization out of LA called Forensics Group, which specifically works with expert witnesses and connects attorneys to expert witnesses, and they contacted me years ago and said, hey, we found you online, you look like you really know what you're doing, and we're so impressed with your education. Do you think you could be an expert witness? And I said, well, sure. Another place where the acting background comes in handy, because I'm not embarrassed about, I can get up and talk to people. I'm not going to be shy about speaking my mind or speaking hopefully eloquently. So, yeah, I've been doing these court cases, and I love to help. I feel so very strongly about massage as a legitimate health practice, and therapists who are negligent in a way where they're hurting people or sexually assaulting people, or clients that show up and do inappropriate things or try to assault a therapist, I have huge problems with. I take my job very, very seriously, and the professionalism that we're seeing grow in the massage therapy field, I take very seriously. So anything I can do to keep that going in that direction, and that's where the expert witness stuff comes in. So I've written reports. I've never actually gotten to a point where I've been deposed yet. Normally my report either stops it or the case settles. But this one I'm working on right now, it's definitely going to trial. So it should be a fascinating one. It's a sexual assault case. So looking forward to it.
That's amazing.
It's going to be a tough one. But
it seems like everything you do, you enjoy.
I do. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. And I find I've had people ask me if I'm content, and I don't know that I've ever in my life used the word to say I'm content, because to me, this is just my opinion on that word. If I was content with something, I don't know that I'd then have the urge to keep exploring other things. Mm-hmm. If I was content to be a massage therapist, I wouldn't have pursued further degrees. If I was content to just have my massage practice, I would not have maybe written the books. So to me, when I'm content, I'm going to just have to stop working.
Yeah.
So I love what I do, and I'm satisfied with what I do, but I want to keep exploring more. And this year of 2012 was the TV show happened. I got hired to speak on a cruise ship, which I'm very excited about for next year. I'm doing a cruise to Alaska where I'm going to be one of the featured speakers. I got booked with a speakers bureau this year. I finished my second book, and people said, geez, what are you going to do in 2013? And I said, yeah, I might rest. And everyone kind of laughed, knowing I'm not going to do that. Because I want to keep moving forward. And the more I learn and the more I can do, the more I can help people. And that really is my driving thing, whether it's an expert witness where I can help this poor woman who got assaulted by a massage therapist, or it's writing a book so that people can learn more, or being at my office where people can get, information about healing and help healing there. It's just, I love all aspects of what I do, and I want to keep doing more.
I saw your video, on your website, with the cruise that's coming up, next September, 2013?
Yeah. Next September, it's going to be a 7-day cruise to Alaska, and it's on Holland America, which is just my favorite cruise line. But yeah, the video's up on my site where you can get information. We're having an early bird special for, I think, a couple more weeks where you get all these special things if you sign up soon. So yeah, and my website is thealternativeMedicineCabinet.com, which my books are there, and my massage DVD, and info about the cruise, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be a blast. I
could tell you were excited about it when I was watching the video. Of course, I think you're excited about everything you do.
That's true too. I'm excited because my team won last night. See, that's why I'm excited. It's the football high.
I got you. Are you a Steelers fan?
I am a Steelers fan. In fact, I'm sitting here right now in a Steelers shirt.
So I'm assuming that you're a Pennsylvania girl.
I am. I grew up in Pittsburgh.
And I grew up in Altoona.
I can tell. There's a little Pittsburgh accent in there.
Mm-hmm. And everybody says that. Now, I've lived down here on the Eastern Shore for almost 30 years, but to this day, they'll still say, you have that accent. And, of course, I don't know what that accent is. Just I mean,
I don't have it, but I can pick it out. I mean, my husband's a wine, food, and travel writer, and we have been interviewing winemakers where, he's interviewing, I'm just sitting there, and there'll be a break in the conversation, and I'll turn to the winemaker and I'll say, so where in Pittsburgh did you grow up? And they go, oh, how can you tell that? I mean, I hear it so clearly. I still hear it in my father. I hear it in his the people he works with. I hear it when even my relatives who moved from Pittsburgh when they were, 18 still have that accent. And I don't have it. I lost it. I couldn't stand sounding that way. No offense to anyone with Pittsburgh accent. I think fondly of it. I miss saying gum band. That's the only word I miss saying.
Well, I haven't heard that in quite a while.
A gum band? Yeah, I still call it a gum band just to mess with people because they don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll look at you like you have two heads. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I tell people I'm from Pittsburgh, and they kind of look at me and go, why don't you sound like that? I was a theater major. We were taught to be perfectly neutral, and so it actually confuses people. They don't know where I'm from. I get Canada. I get England, and I'm thinking, oh, no, I don't sound anything like England. But, yeah, it confuses them. They don't know where I'm from. They know not California, but that's kind of all they get.
I have a real good friend who is he's on, I think, a little bit better than 80 stations now across America and around the world. Neil Haley, who they call him the Total Tutor. He's out of Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice.
And I think you would do well on his show, too. But nonetheless, he's from Pittsburgh. You're from Pittsburgh. I'm close to it. It's a small, small world sometimes, I guess.
It is. But I meet Pittsburgh people all over the place, and anytime I wear my Steelers shirt, no matter where I am in the country, it's such a dedicated fan base. Mm-hmm. And people who are from Pittsburgh, there's such a strong tie to that town. Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating to me that, and same thing with my father. No, everything he owns has a Steeler or Pirates logo on it. Everywhere he goes, you're bumping into people, and you end up talking about the town or the team. It's just this great sense of camaraderie that follows you around the world. It's actually really kind of cool. I'm very proud to be from there. It
is. I grew up listening to Bob Prince on the radio and going to Old Forbes Field and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not going to sing those words of days, my friend. But anyhow, Dr. Gruver, I thank you very, very much. Your website is thealternativemedicinecabinet.com. And your book is the same thing, right?
The Alternative Medicine Cabinet, yeah. And also on the site, you can sign up for my newsletter, which goes out once a month. And my books are there, and there's free resources, and the video about the cruise, and my video from Lifetime Television, and it's just packed full of resources. It is. It's been a delight. I have really, really enjoyed it. Appreciate you for taking out the time, because I know you're very, very busy. Of course. So whatever you endeavor, put your hand to, I trust that it'll just blossom and bloom like everything else has. And you just keep rooting for them Steelers, and just God bless you real good. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. And we'd like to have you come back again. I'm back. All right. All right. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Been around the world, across the ocean blue. I've smelled a lot of things that would probably kill you. But no matter where I go, I find one thing is true. There's a million things that smell better than you. Serial killer's basement, a public urinal, a boiled stuffed stomach, haggis I think it's called, burning hair, dragon breath, refrigerator mold, my Uncle Irwin's underwear, toe jam, so I'm told, doggy doo, smelling salt, the inside of a horse, rancid meat and underarms, hairy ones of course, puke and shoes and glue, booze, fungus-ridden feet, a whiskey-soaked vagrant man lying in the street. I smelled all these things and I'm here to tell you they all smell better than you. Methane gas, dirty clothes, garbage can, and pus, portalettes, smelly socks, a New York City bus, donkey butts, the Garden State, hair clogged in a drain, the smell of fear, stale beer, that ugly yellow stain, earwax, jock straps, cigar smoke and muck, bug spray, sour milk, 40 garbage trucks, cows, and skunks, pigs, dogs, taxi cab exhaust, whatever I just stepped in, a sweaty guy named Ross. I've smelled all these things and I'm here to tell you they all smell better than you. Cow manure, open sewers, high school locker rooms, roadkill, low tide, hospital food, rotten eggs, New York Mets, pickled pig's feet, dirty diapers, compost, Limburger cheese, paper mill, landfill, cabbage, fish, fat, mountain men, dirty clothes, 25 dead cats, the bathroom in a strip joint, bad mayonnaise, English leather, a piece of ham left out for 20 days, smoke and goat and toes and boats, Paris, nursing homes, wet wool, dog's breath, sulfur, chicken bones. I smelled all these things and I'm here to tell you they all smell better than you.
Hey, I'll be right back with some real important messages. Don't go away. It gets better.
A man cry, a boy smile, makes an old man wish that he could walk another mile for the good thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Can I hear you? Yeah. I said, can I hear you? I want you to get down on your knees with me. This ain't a fantasy. Every man knows how it's supposed to be. We should all drop down on one knee. Some loving, L-O-V-I-N. Can I get some loving? Yeah. Can I get some loving? L-O-V-I-N. Well. So fellas, you know we're living on a two-way street. And while the ladies, they got that good thing, you know they also like to have a little piece. I ain't trying to be nasty, but we all know the facts of life. So come on ladies, won't you sing with me? Come on, sing with all your might. Can I get some loving? You look so nice tonight. Now, it's just you and me. Forget all these other people in the bar. Forget your friends. Forget your mom and dad. Forget the bartender. Well, maybe not the bartender. Everybody else is just watching, waiting to see how we play this game. Who makes the right move? Do I throw down enough money for you to be impressed enough to want to actually give it up to me? Now, I know you're respectable. No, really, no. You're beautiful. You got it going on. Your makeup is fantastic. But in the back of your mind, there's this voice. Maybe it's your friends, your parents, the piano player, the librarian. It's your teacher from the 3rd grade that's saying, no, don't give it up. Don't give it up on the first night the guy sees you. And I'm telling you, it's okay. I'm here. It's you and me. I will never have enough money to impress all your friends and your family. All I wanna know, baby, can I get some loving? Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. You see, a woman needs a man, and a man needs a woman. Oh, well, maybe a woman, she needs a woman, and a man, he needs a man. I've heard of it happening. Not me, but I've seen it. A cat might need a penguin. A teddy bear might need a Corvette. A squirrel might need a baseball glove. Me, I'll take whatever I can get. You see, we all got special needs. I'm no different. I mean, who are we to deny ourselves the one thing that's good, is beautiful, especially is free? Can I get some loving? Yeah. Can I get some loving? L-O-V-I-N. Can I get some loving? Can I get some loving? Yeah, L-O-V-I-N, O-V-I-N, 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 O-V-I-N. Just a little, yeah.
And a great big thank you to Dr. Kathy Gruver. Thank you very much, Dr. Gruver. Could you tell that she had a passion for life, and it was kind of contagious? And hey, do that breathing thing she was doing. You know, that little mini thing that she called it. Do that. I did that, and it just makes you feel so good. I'm going to keep doing that. 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day. It really works. It's really work. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Dr. Alex Hills, the man who invented Wi-Fi. We will be talking to Dr. Hills tomorrow night using Wi-Fi. We'll be talking to the man that invented Wi-Fi. And we'll be using Wi-Fi at the same time that we talk to the man that invented Wi-Fi. You getting all that? Yeah. Remember, now, this is still the funny farm. And we only get serious for a little while. Getting serious for too long scares the breath out of me. But anyways, he'll be with us tomorrow night on Wednesday. I know I'm not saying his last name right, but Patrick Thibute, who was an Army medic, he's going to be with us, and he wrote a book. He's going to be with us Wednesday night. Bob Wilkie, a former National Hockey League player, will be with us on Thursday. On Friday, we will have the Total Tutor out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Last time Neil was here, he went ballistic. I hope he does that again this week because this is the funny farm. If there's any place that you can go ballistic, and it's absolutely all right to go ballistic, it's right here on the funny farm. So Friday night, Neil will be with us, and we'll have another special guest along with that. So we got lots of things going on, lots of music. Oh, yeah, Grandma told me to tell you, Grandma Strayer, you've never met her, and she passed away way back in 1971, but every now and then she reminds me of things, see? And while I was sitting here, she came and she told me that I better tell people that we have made Skype an availability on our show now. Do we have it hooked up and ready to go tonight? No. I think that's why she appeared to me, because she was really angry. You know, she said, you worked so hard trying to get this thing right, and now you're not using it the way you're supposed to be using it. But we will, I promise. And you can call me from anywhere in the world, Skype to Skype. And we'll have it hooked up. Maybe tomorrow night we'll have it hooked up, and we'll get some folks calling in after Dr. Hills leaves us. But nonetheless, we have availability with Skype now. While we're on the show, we can take calls, take live calls from anywhere in the world, Skype to Skype, and we're looking forward to that very, very much. Next week, Jack Duffy, who has written a book on the JFK assassination, Dave Moore, who's written a book called A Father's Love, true story. He himself searched this country over, far and wide, for his missing son. Dr. Robert Christensen will be with us on Wednesday, and Dina Ray, oh my, Dina Ray will be with us on Thursday, which is, my goodness gracious, that'll be the 1st of November already. We have a ton of guests. I mean, just one right after the other. And it is a privilege. It is a privilege. These folks always thank us for asking them to come on the show. It's us that needs to thank them, because it's a real privilege to meet these people. Each and every one of them is unique in their own right, and it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to sit here behind the mic and talk to such fine people from all walks of life that has so much talent in all different trades and things, and they're all accomplishing great things. And I'm just so proud to be able to sit here and talk to these fine people. And Charlie says that those people are so smart. But he'll have more to say about that after a while. Mr. Coley Bryce and his band. And Coley will be with us, I think it's around November the 16th, somewhere along there. He'll be with us and be sharing some great things with us around November 16th or thereabouts. It's been a wonderful show tonight. I just keep thinking Dr. Gruver is passionate about life, swims with sharks, jumps out of airplanes. What was the other thing? Scuba dives. Them three things there will get your adrenaline moving. I would imagine that she climbs mountains. I guess if there's anything that has a challenge to it, then she's up for it. But we want to thank her so very, very much. I hope you enjoyed her. I like people around that appreciate life and lives life to the fullest, and their passion for life is contagious. And I think that is the case with her. I think that her passion is contagious. Good shout out to my friend Lou Balls up there in Camden, New Jersey, not too far from us. Harry over there in Northern Ireland. Marky Mark in Nottingham. Simon James, I think you're in Nottingham, Manchester. Ben Morris, where's Ben from? He's over there in Manchester, Nottingham, somewhere thereabout in that neck of woods. And if I miss anybody, I'm very sorry. Sophie and let's see, Ann Chapman and Graham Foster over there in Italy. To all our European friends, to all our friends across America, down under, in the Philippines and Japan, I want to thank you so very, very much for being a part of this radio show, because without you, this radio show would be useless. I mean, absolutely useless. Email me, George C.E., that's George C.E. at Comcast.net, or look me up on Facebook, George C.E. at Comcast.net. Appreciate all your support for all you that are tuning in night after night after night after night. Like I said in the very beginning of the show tonight, our audience is growing. We want to make our shows better than ever. And with you and us and everyone together, we'll do that. There's a whole lot of love coming to you from the Funny Farm. Wherever you're at, whatever you're going through, just remember, somebody here cares about you. If it's nighttime where you're at, have a good night. If it's already tomorrow, have a good day. But until then, this is George Espinlove saying good night and God bless you. I've just been informed. Someone just shot in here just faster than a speeding bullet and said that I better give a big shout out to Cheryl West up there close to, where's it at, Bridgeville? Up there close to Bridgeville, Delaware. So Cheryl, here's a big shout out to you. And I hope you're having a fine night. And I hope you have a finer tomorrow. Is that good English? I don't know. But Cheryl, have a good night.